We're on the Raw after WrestleMania 39, and Finn Balor is coming out to address the WWE Universe until BOOM! Someone in a hood and mask completely blindsides an injured Balor, but who's underneath the mask? Well, we get a hint as to whoever he is, as when he's rushing out of sight, we see a very sinister t-shirt. So everyone is suspicious of who it is, which leads into the main event tag team match, where instead of Brock Lesnar, a Switchblade debuts. Jay White is here, and he's gonna make an immediate statement in the main event, but not against the Bloodline. Jay White attacks Cody Rhodes. He betrays his former Bullet Club brethren. But why? Well, the following Raw, the show opens with boos, because making his way out of the ring is the Switchblade Jay White. Why is he opening the show? Well, the online speculation that he was the one who assaulted Balor, he clears the air and says, "Last week, the catalyst of professional wrestling arrived, and to ensure that my debut was as big as possible, I went after the two people who believed they were the catalyst of the Bullet Club." Yeah, that's right. I attacked Balor in a mask because I deserved to debut in the main event, and Balor isn't the main event anymore. So I didn't want to ruin the fun, did I?
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Oh, look who it is! The man who systematically destroyed the greatest thing in professional wrestling, only for me to have to clean up your mess, the Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. What have you got to say, Cody, Come on, spit it out. And as Cody is about to speak, he gets interrupted by the Judgment Day, and more in particular, Damian Priest, who comes out and says, "Cody, you can wait your turn, but Jay, Balor isn't in the building. He's injured, which is what he was going to address last week before you took him out from behind. You could even face him like a real man when he was at 1%. Okay, can you both shut the hell up? Priest, I, and a lot of other people don't care about Priest. That's had enough. He starts beating Cody down whilst Jay just watches in amusement, and after Priest is done with the beatdown, he throws Cody away as if he's nothing and stares at White as he says, "You don't get to walk away from beating up one of the Judgment Day. So for your sake, Jay, by next week, admit your wrongdoings and apologize to us, or you will suffer worse than Edge ever did." It's a stern warning from Priest, who walks to the back. But will White do what Priest has asked? Well, before we find out, as White is also making his way towards the back, he delivers a message to Cody Rhodes, but not verbally, as he hits a Blade Runner onto the American Nightmare. He gets his own lick in against Cody Rhodes as he leaves the carcass behind. And the following week, the show has been built up around what Jay will do in the main event segment. Will he abide by Judgment Day law, or will he refute them? Well, in the closing segment on the show, Jay White comes out to no music once again, standing alone in the ring with the Judgment Day coming out at the top of the ramp. He says, "Boys, I was gonna call you out here anyways because I wanted to say to you, but I apologize. I apologize that Finn Balor is fragile and a pathetic excuse of a competitor because he pales in comparison to me, because he refused to breathe with the Switchblade and acknowledge that I am the true leader of Bullet Club, because notice how when I leave New Japan, the Bullet Club crumbled because I made that group great again after what Cody did." But as the Judgment Day are about to get to the ring, here comes Cody. He wants revenge on everyone in front of him, and he swings at the Judgment Day with a sledgehammer, but as he's approaching Jay, he gets out of dodge and says, "Oh, no, we aren't doing this here tonight. If you want to fight me, you can do it on my terms." And Cody responds, "Okay, you dumbed down Balor, we can fight on your terms. Give me a date and I'll gladly be there and whoop your ass all across the ring." But as he says this, Priest jumps Rhodes and nails himself a heaven chokeslam, and he says to Jay, "If you're gonna have a match with Cody, I want in. You deserve the judgment of the Judgment Day." And Jay remarks, "Ooh, am I supposed to be scared, big guy? You know what? I'll go talk to Adam Pearce, and yeah, fine. I'll fight both of you at Backlash. But when I win, I'll move past both of you and take out Balor once he's back. Then that newly minted World Heavyweight Championship is mine." It's an enormous challenge that's been put on the table, but will Adam Pearce sanction the match? Well, before then, the WWE draft takes place with Jay White, Cody Rhodes, and all Judgment Day being selected for the red brand. And with that, Adam Pearce makes an announcement. Jay wants it, Damian wants it, Cody wants it, so at Backlash, it'll be all three men going at it, and there'll be more stakes to this burning hot feud because the winner of this match will face either Seth Rollins or AJ Styles in their first defense of the World Heavyweight Championship. It's been made official by Adam Pearce, but what will each competitor have to say about this? Well, later on in the show, Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio are in the ring, and Priest says, "All rise." "No, we won't rise," which is what you say in the bedroom. Priest, you're the least important member of the Judgment Day, yet you're the one involved in my business. You know what? I want you, Dominic. Tonight, let's see if you're ready for Bad Buddy. Let's see if you're a fraud, which, let's face it, will be the case when I allow you to breathe with the switch. Cody Rhodes has had enough. He hits a crossroads on the white. Then he looks towards the ring and says to the Judgment Day, "That match Jay just asked for? I want it." And Dominic replies, "You're on, Cody, I'll fight you." And the match occurs later on in the evening, although after almost 15 minutes of phenomenal action, Jay comes out and batters both men with a baseball bat. Priest tries to stop Jay White's rampage, but that doesn't work, and the closing shot before the commercial break is Jay White standing over a bloody Priest. So it's now time for the go-home Raw before Backlash, and Jay White is in his in-ring debut against Ricochet, and it's an absolute barnstormer, but Jay is dominating. He's showcasing why he deserves to be in the main event scene. He's the total package. Ricochet is getting overwhelmed through White's in-ring presence, and eventually, he lays Ricochet to rest with a brutal Blade Runner. White wins his debut match, but his night isn't over with yet, as Damian Priest comes out although he's nowhere near 100% and White knows it. He grabs a baseball bat and once again relentlessly swings at Priest, as if there's no tomorrow, but here comes Cody, and the brawl between the two men is on. The hatred is on full display. They fight all over the arena. There's no separating the pair. Years of history between the two has been boiled over into another company, although eventually Jay gets the upper hand thanks to a cowardly low blow. And with a Blade Runner, Jay once again stands tall over his opponents. But will this result translate to Backlash? Well, the triple threat match is the second match on the card, and Jay is visibly unhappy with this. He believes he deserves top billing. Nevertheless, he's gonna have to prove that he does by defeating his rivals Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest. And the crowd are clearly in favor of Priest due to being Puerto Rican, and although Cody is caught off guard by this, Jay isn't. He launches at the American Nightmare and starts beating him down, but Priest wants to get his receipts back from Jay as well. All three men are going at it. Jay and Damian even work together to take out Cody, but it's every man for themselves, so Jay immediately tries to roll up Priest, although that doesn't work, and this attempted cheap tactic sends Priest over the edge. He starts to fight Jay, but Cody is back up. Cody tries to calm the beast, but that doesn't work, and Cody gets sent into the corner. But White now tries to take down Priest, but he's unsuccessful as well, and Priest sends Jay to the outside of the ring and starts to turn his attention to Cody, but as Jay's about to get back into the ring, a Prince makes his return. Balor is back, and he's got his eyes set on one man and one man only, the man who claims to be the best leader, the best member of Bullet Club, which Balor obviously doesn't accept. And after the assault on the Raw after WrestleMania, Balor gets his receipt. He nails a 1916 on the Jay before dragging his lifeless corpse away. And once they're backstage, Balor doesn't stop with assaulting the Switchblade as he puts him through a table, but he still isn't done. He stands over the lifeless corpse and says, "Jay, coming here to my company, my home, is your biggest mistake you will ever make in your entire life, because Bullet Club is and will always be for life." And with Jay still out cold, with Balor having the opportunity to potentially take out the Catalyst for good, he leaves. And the following night of Raw, Jay's in the building. He sustained injuries at the mercy of Balor, who interrupts the new World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, as he believes he would have become champion if it wasn't for Edge having to split his head open to defeat him. And the history between Rollins and Balor is extensively discussed, as Balor believes he has been robbed through injury time and time again, as it all started with Rollins 7 years ago. And the exchange sends Balor over the edge, but he doesn't do the dirty work, as Damian Priest takes the Visionary to the outside and plants him through the table. And after his victory at Backlash, he gives a warning shot to Rollins with their World Heavyweight Championship match bout scheduled for the main event of Raw. So Balor and Priest both walk to the back, and Balor has a backstage segment later in the show as he says, "Last night, and to an extent tonight, was just the beginning, Jay. You don't get to hit me in the back and get away with it. If you truly knew about Bullet Club, you know we don't whip out of a beatdown. We do it head on. I guess you missed that. After all, Cody does kind of have a reputation of being unwanted wherever he works. And that included when he almost ruined my creation. So don't you worry, Jay. You're not the only target I'm aiming for." Balor has sent the message loud and clear, but his night still isn't done with yet, as when Cody Rhodes tries to insert himself into the world title picture by helping out Rollins, he gets blasted by Balor with a chair. He meant it when he said that Jay wasn't the only target he was aiming for, and he clatters Cody with the chair over and over. It even breaks onto the American Nightmare, but as he's doing this, he doesn't see Rollins nailing a stomp on the Priest to pick up the win, and Balor is livid at this. He charges towards the ring and is looking for blood, and Rollins isn't going to back down. He's He's gonna fight even when he probably shouldn't, and Balor knows it. He starts going after Rollins. He stands no chance. He's all over the Visionary, and Balor even puts him through the announcer's table. Has his skull being busted open at WrestleMania changed something within the Demon King? Well, the following week, the show kicks off with a lone wolf who stands at the ring and says, well, look at who's starting off the show again. No, not Jay. He's still sitting at home, hopefully in the most uncomfortable state possible. Not the bootleg Shawn Michaels, me. And that's because I'm... Rollins is here, and he's not happy. He wants a fight, but then as it's looking like it's gonna happen, Cody beats Rollins to it. The fight is on, and Rollins joins the fray. The fight is even more on. Nothing can separate them, and the rest of Judgment Day get involved. It's a humongous brawl, but Rollins and Rhodes are outnumbered. They need a third man, and it's not who they were expecting. Enough! This fighting will stop, because in the main event, Seth, Cody, find a third tag partner. I don't even care who it is. And you six can have the main event, but lay just another hand on each other, and I call off the match and suspend all of you for 60 days with no pay. Pierce lays down the law, but who will their third tag team partner be? Well, in the main event, the Judgment Day are waiting in the ring, and Cody leads the charge. He doesn't believe he has a third partner, but Rollins made a few calls. And out comes a returning Jay White, but he's back to make a statement. He nails a Blade Runner on the Seth. He wants the gold, and Cody is furious. He looks to hit Jay, but he fails. Jay stands tall, and on top of that, no one is suspended due to Pierce only mentioning all of those originally involved in the brawl. But Jay knows he can't take on all of the Judgment Day by himself, so for smirk to Balor, he leaves. And the following Raw kicks off with a Switchblade, but not how people were expecting, as he has the corpse of Finn Balor in his hands, as he says. Oh yeah, but it's not nice, is it? Not nice sneak attacking like a coward, is it? And oh Cody, you stuck-up goody two-shoes. You tarnished a legacy I had to rebuild. And Rollins, well, you have something I want. Nothing personal, big man. Not yet, anyways. And he nails a Blade Runner onto Balor. Why is Judgment Day not aiding their brethren? Well, they're found out cold backstage. Jay must have gotten to them first. But here comes Cody. He goes for Jay, but White nails a low blow. It's yet another disgraceful act by the Catalyst. But then here comes Rollins, and he doesn't lay a hand on Jay, and instead says, I respect your hustle, kids. I was like you once, naive to the world, all self-centered, egotistical, no goods. Ha! At least I didn't need to piggyback off of a cheating snake who now runs this dump. And that comment sends the Architect over the edge. He fights Jay all over the building. And instead of Adam Pearce, Triple H comes out and says, that's enough, you two! Clearly things between all four of you men have gotten way out of hand. So on Night of Champions, it'll be Jay White versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Cody Rhodes for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's a huge announcement, and Jay loves it, as he once again stands tall over all of his rivals. He's in such a bright mood following the announcement that he asks Adam Pearce for a main event open challenge, which he accepts. But who will take on the Switchblade? Well, in the main event, Jay is waiting patiently for his opponent, and answering the call is none other than... This is a dream match on free TV! And with Owens' allegiance to Cody after the Bloodline saga, he isn't holding back! He's showing his bare-knuckle fighting nature! But Jay is calculated, he knows how to get back into the match, and he does just that. He slams Owens into the ring post and begins dominating, but Owens is a fighter, and the match swings back and forth for large sections of the contest. That is until Solo Sikoa brings out an unconscious Zayn. Everyone is shocked, but Owens is furious, and Jay takes full advantage. He nails a Blade Runner onto the prize fighter, and with that, Jay wins. But his night isn't done with yet, as Balor comes out of nowhere and starts beating him down. These two can't stay away from each other, but here comes Cody and Rollins. Although Seth decides to make an impact, he pedigrees Cody. But why? Well, he hasn't forgotten their history either, with Seth saying, you think I forgot about the fact that you tried to burn my home down? Nah, we ain't good, Cody. Some people don't deserve second chances. And with that, Balor and Seth both stand tall over their biggest rivals, although the other is standing ahead of them. Nevertheless, it's time for the go-home Raw before Night of Champions, and Adam Pearce announces an absolute blockbuster main event. So first off, Jay, Finn, Seth, Cody, if either of you touch each other tonight without a bell ringing for a match, you get removed from the Fatal 4-Way match at Night of Champions. And if that means Rollins has to face a mystery opponent, then so be it. Or if Rollins has to vacate the World Championship, so be it. But as I said, you can fight so long as it's in a sanctioned match, because in the main event, it'll be Jay White and Finn Balor teaming up to take on Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Well, it's time for the main event of the show, and Jay looks extra confident leading into this match, but why? Well, as soon as the bell rings, Jay stands still whilst Cody and Seth argue. He's just letting it play out, but then he turns to Finn and he smacks him in the face. What has Jay done? Well, he continues as he knocks Balor off the apron and starts beating him down on the outside, and even connects a Blade Runner. But as soon as the referee counts him out, he stops the assault. He's twisted Adam Pearce's words and rules to his advantage, and with that, this Fatal 4-Way match has reached its crescendo. But who can call themselves champion at the end of the contest? Can Jay win his first singles gold? Can Balor get vengeance? Can Cody finish the story? Or can Seth retain? Well, the match is underway and it's a classic. All four men integrate with each other throughout the early portions of the contest, but it eventually separates with Finn Balor and Jay White battling on the ramp, and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes doing battle in the ring. And although in the inside of the ring it's a technical masterclass, on the outside it's just a fight. And when Rollins or Cody tries to get the win, Balor doesn't care. He's so focused on Jay White that his mind has become narrow, and Jay knows this, so he tries to get closer towards the ring, but Balor doesn't care. He just fights like a rabid dog. Although Jay eventually gets separation from a nasty Blade Runner on the concrete floor. Balor is out, so it's down to 3 men, and they're all going at it. But Jay's eventually double teamed by the babyfaces through a series of big time moves. But as Cody dumps him out the ring, Rollins takes advantage. He nails a stomp on the Rhodes. Is he done? Well, Rollins isn't, as he knows he needs to keep Cody down for the 3. But Cody counters, however, as he's looking to potentially finish the story. Balor comes back into the match and nails a shotgun dropkick onto Cody, but Rollins is back up and again nails a stop which takes out Balor, and with one more to Cody, Seth Rollins retains. But Jay White and Finn Balor weren't pinned, and both men let Adam Pearce know their displeasure with the fact they weren't the ones to get pinned. But Adam Pearce throws both of them a bone as he announces that there will be a gauntlet match to determine the next number one contender for Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship. So in the main event of the show, the gauntlet match begins, and Jay White comes out in number 3 and immediately tries taking out Johnny Gargano, but Gargano was slippery and evades a maneuver, but he's weak from barely overcoming Big Bronson Reed, and Jay capitalizes on this and meticulously wears down Gargano, and with a Blade Runner, Jay advances to his next challenge, which is The Miz, and both men try to cheese out one another with heel tactics. But on top of this, both men are showing how good they are in the ring, but Jay's roughness in the ring is starting to overpower Miz's rich nature. He's getting overwhelmed, and just like Gargano, Miz is forced to breathe with the Switchblade. So it's time for his next opponent, which is none other than Sami Zayn. Jay's got a tall task ahead of him if he wants to fight Rollins at Money in the Bank, but as soon as Zayn is getting close to the ring, boom! Giovanni Vinci blindsides Zayn. Imperium's feud with Zayn and Owens may have screwed Zayn out of the World Heavyweight Championship, but Owens eventually gets due off Zayn. However, is the damage already done? As Jay hurls Zayn into the ring, and the bell rings, and Jay immediately tries to end the match, but Zayn still has fight left in the tank. But how much does he have left? Well, enough to attempt a Blue Thunder Bomb. However, Jay gets out of it, and with yet another Blade Runner, he's done it. He's advanced once again, but who is his penultimate opponent? Well, Ludwig Kaiser drags out a lifeless Owens. The prize fighter wanted to fight for a prize just like Zayn, but just like the underdog from the underground, Imperium screwed him over, and Ludwig throws Kevin to the wolves, or in this case, a singular wolf, as Jay mauls on Owens. He's getting scrappier as the gauntlet goes along. His stamina is being tested, but due to some general assistance, Jay eliminates Kevin with yet another Blade Runner. He's almost done it, but he has to overcome one more opponent. It's Jay's worst nightmare. He's nowhere near even 50%, and he has to fight a fresh Demon King. And to say it's lopsided would be an understatement. Balor dominates, and with a coup de grace, Balor wins. It's heartbreak for Jay. He was so close yet so far. But his story leading into the summer has only just begun. And the following week, Jay has a backstage promo and says, "Last week, I proved to everyone that I deserve to face Rollins one-on-one at Money in the Bank. But no, luck just wasn't on my side apparently, because Finn Balor got the last spot and picked up the scraps. So I hope Adam Pearce makes the correct call and puts me in the last Money in the Bank qualifier next week, or you all truly will learn what it's like to breathe with the Switchblade, because the catalyst of professional wrestling won't go down due to a man whose only claim to fame is starting a club that I revolutionized. Oh, and Cody, I know you've already talked to Pearce, and I just want you to know, you're a failure, and I hope your daddy looks down on you in shame. It's harsh words from Jay White, but what will Adam Pearce do about the last Money in the Bank qualifying match? Well, before the main event, he makes it official. Next week, in the main event, we'll see who will join Damian Priest and Ricochet to represent Raw. And I've heard a lot of chatter from a lot of people, but there are two people who not only deserve a qualifying match, but need to settle their differences, because in the main event, it'll be Switchblade Jay White taking on the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And to ensure Rollins doesn't screw Rhodes and Balor doesn't screw White, everyone will be barred from ringside. There will be a winner, and with that, back to you, Cole. It's an enormous announcement by Pearce, but who will win this dream match? Well, it's time for the main event of the evening. Who can prove themselves as a better wrestler and arguably the better Bullet Club member? The Catalyst Jay White or the Nightmare Cody Rhodes? Well, the match is underway and these warriors aren't holding back. They want to prove their superiority to the other, and Cody takes all the risks. He even dives onto the Switchblade. They're all over each other, but each move Jay connects is calculated, which can be seen as he swings Cody into the barricade before using it to his advantage. And Jay is now in control of the match. He's all over Cody. This is truly a nightmare scenario for Cody Rhodes. But in the words of Cody's theme, hard times breed better men. And even though Jay is giving it his all to keep the nightmare down, Cody keeps on fighting and even manages to connect the Cody cutter, which gives Cody some much needed separation. But here comes Rollins. He and Cody have been at each other's throats for weeks now, but Balor takes him out. All four of these men have been each other's biggest threats, but Cody is distracted by this, and that gives Jay enough of an opening to get back into the match as he nails a Blade Runner on the Rhodes. It's over. Jay has advanced to Money in the Bank. He's ecstatic, but Cody is heartbroken. He's failed to overcome the odds. However, that isn't Jay's concern, as he closes the show standing victorious. And his ego continues to rise the following week as he interrupts the segment between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins as he says, "Oh, look at you two bickering and bickering when you both should be focused on the real rock and roller, the man who will be Mr. Money in the Bank, the catalyst of professional wrestling, the greatest professional wrestler of all time, Jay." Oh, shut the hell up! You think you're the catalyst? You've done jack shit! You aren't anywhere remotely close to my level! I mean, even though he's a piece of crap, Seth's right. But could you do this? And Balor launches an attack on Rollins. He completely decimates him and leaves him lying in the ring and goes to confront Jay as he says, "Could you blindside one of the best to ever do it? Could you catch him off guard? Because I don't think you could." And Jay just taunts in his face, and Finn is irate. He goes to hit Jay, who counters and nails a Blade Runner. He then stands over the downed Prince as he says, "You know, Finn, I'm not just the Switchblade. I'm not just a catalyst. I'm a manipulator. And all the pieces of the puzzle has fallen into place, and now you can breathe." Jay has warned both participants in the world title match, but another man in the Money in the Bank ladder match runs to support his fallen brethren as Damian Priest comes out and starts fighting with Jay. It's full-blown chaos wherever you turn, as now all the members of the Money in the Bank ladder match begin brawling all over the building. But who will become Mr. Money in the Bank? Well, the show opens with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and all 6 men are going at it. Ricochet and Logan Paul are doing flips all over the place. LA Knight and Butch are using the ladders as weapons, and Jay White and Damian Priest just fight. And eventually it comes down to 3. It's between the Catalyst, the Megastar, and the Archer of Infamy. Who can win? Well, Knight is clearly the fan favourite. He's battering Jay in the corner, and Priest tries to grab the briefcase with Knight distracted, but that doesn't work. The Megastar reaches Damian in time and smacks him over and over and over again, and eventually knocks him down. Is it LA's time? Well, Jay puts a stop to it, but will it be temporary or permanently? Whose game will it be? Well, Jay knocks Knight onto the tip of the ladder, and then with the crowd watching in horror, Knight crashes to the mat. He's done, and the Switchblade becomes Mr. Money in the Bank. Everyone hates it. They thought it was Knight's time, but Jay had other ideas. He's rubbing salt in the wound, he's celebrating with the crowd that hates his guts, and eventually he stops toying with the crowd as he walks to the back. But his night isn't done with yet. Jay's gonna cash in, but Priest cuts him off. He almost inadvertently screwed Balor, so he tries to make things right, and Jay gets planted with a self-fulfilling chokeslam, which also allows Balor to truly soak in the victory. And on the Raw after Money in the Bank, Balor opens the show and says, "Man, this just feels right. After Rollins screwed me 7 years ago, I finally got my vengeance, and it could have been undermined by a bootleg AJ Styles or a bootleg Finn Balor if it wasn't for Damian Priest. So come on out so I can personally thank you, bud." But it's not just Priest who comes out. "Well, it looks like your buddy here is having a bit of a nap, but don't you worry, I'll pass the message along. So why don't you tell me to my face what you wanted to tell the Archer of Dumbassery?" And Jay eventually enters the ring, and it's a tense stare down between the two rivals, but Jay eventually breaks the ice with a sickening low blow. Mr. Money in the Bank has taken out the World Heavyweight Champion, and Jay has an epiphany. He's gonna cash in, and the ref enters the ring and rings the bell. Everyone is shocked. Balor is still reeling from the nut shot, and Jay takes full advantage. He beats down the Prince and even hits a Blade Runner. Is Balor done? No! Balor lives, but for how long? As Jay knows the champ is almost done, as Jay taunts of his victim before making him breathe with the Switchblade as he nails another Blade Runner. Balor's reign is already over, and the Catalyst's reign has only just begun. As following his big time win, he has a backstage interview as he says, "Now that I'm your champion, you all breathe with me because this is my air, not anyone else's, mine, and you will all find that out. Sooner or later, you will all accept it." Jay warns the entire Raw roster, and the following week, Jay's celebrations officially begins as he opens Raw with the World Championship in hand, as he says, "Oh, it feels good. 3 months in this company and I already hold the top prize. And hey, I was nice to you, Finn. I allowed you to have your longest reign as world champion, and it's all because of me. So you're welcome, Finn. And you know, with Seth and Cody both squabbling over second place, who's gonna be my challenger? Oh yeah, of course. Come on out, Finn. You want another crack at this? Well, come and get it." And Balor does. He continues to make his way towards the ring, but of course, Jay gets out of harm's way and says, "You think I'm gonna fight you tonight? No. But what I will do is ensure you never challenge for my World Heavyweight Championship ever again." But as soon as Balor is about to speak, Adam Pearce interrupts and says, "You know what, Jay? You're right. We're not giving this away on free TV, but we will have this match. So at SummerSlam, you two will fight for the World Heavyweight Championship, but let's make things interesting. The loser of the match can't challenge for the world title for an entire year." And I'd ask how that sounds, but I don't care, because I've made it official. It's a huge announcement by Adam Pearce, but Jay is furious. He tries to swing his title at Finn, but Balor catches it and smashes the belt across Jay's skull. The message has been sent. However, there's still one more Raw before SummerSlam, and the main event is announced to be a Champions vs Challengers tag team match, as Jay White and Gunther take on Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre, and Jay is just allowing Gunther to dominate. He isn't getting his hands dirty, but Gunther can only do so much, as the combination of Drew and Finn wears the ring all down, so he forces Jay to tag in. He has to fight Balor. We're gonna get a preview of SummerSlam. But then Jay tags Gunther back in, who's clearly upset at this, and he lets it be known as he chops Jay, which almost breaks him in half. And the match completely falls apart at this point. Drew sends Gunther to the outside and begins brawling all around the arena. And the same can be said with Jay and Balor, although their fighting is just reserved for ringside. And Balor has sinister intentions. He wants to put Jay through the table, but Jay once again hits a low blow onto Balor. It's as if nut shots up the Prince's kryptonite, and Jay puts him on the table, lifts him up and plants him through it. Jay stands tall, but will this be the case at SummerSlam? As it's time for the big time grudge match for the World Heavyweight Championship, who will win? Who won't be able to challenge for the prestigious title for an entire year? Will it be Jay White? Or will it be Finn Balor? Well, the match is on and Balor is strong out the gate. He's not holding back against the Switchblade. He's all over him, but Jay counters a strike and gets out the ring. He wants nothing to do with the volatile Balor, but Balor wants blood, so he dives onto Jay. He's continuing the beatdown on the outside, but Jay gets an opening and he takes it. He dazes Balor and then hurls him into the steps. And if that wasn't bad enough, he even drives Finn into the hardest part of the ring and even hits a wasteland on the announcer's table. So now Jay's in control of the match, but Balor won't stay down without a fight, so the match swings back and forth in favour of both men. They hit everything at each other. Neither man will yield. So here comes Priest. He's gonna guarantee Balor's victory. He's distracting the ref, but Jay hits a low blow. Priest is beside himself, and Jay just laughs at him. Priest has just inadvertently screwed Balor, and Jay knows it. He capitalizes and nails a Blade Runner, and with that, Jay White retains. It's heartbreak for Balor. He can't believe he's lost, but Jay knew he'd win. He always knew Priest would try cost him the match, and he knew friction between the Judgment Day would begin forming. And even though this story ends, another rears its head.